Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Devin Bartolotta.
And I'm Sharice Gibson. And tonight's RNC, Speaker of the House Mike Johnson promised an investigation into Saturday's assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump.
Everyone hear me clearly and listen to me at home and make no mistake. The House is conducting an immediate and thorough investigation of these tragic events.
Now, there are also calls to overhaul the Secret Service, and one of those leading the charge, House Majority Leader Steve Scalise, himself a victim of gun violence. He also spoke at the convention earlier tonight.
Whitney Miller has the highlights and looks into the investigation.
From energy to foreign policy, Tuesday, Louisiana native and House Majority Leader Steve Scalise gave the rundown of the policies he says President Trump and Republicans will uphold if he is reelected in November.
We will lock down the border, and yes, we will finish building the wall.
He also addressed the tragic assassination attempt on the president's life Saturday. Back in 2017, Scalise was the victim of political violence when a gunman shot him during a Capitol baseball practice.
Not many know that while I was fighting for my life, Donald Trump was one of the first to come console my family at the hospital.
Scalise is also calling for the overhauling of the Secret Service. Meanwhile, there are several investigations underway into the shooting. Tuesday, we learned a local tactical team was inside the building where the shooter fired from. One of the snipers saw 20-year-old Thomas Crooks outside on 3 separate occasions, observing the building's roof, then returning with a rangefinder, an instrument routinely used by marksmen to determine the distance of a target. At that point, the sniper snapped a picture of him 26 minutes before the shooting occurred and radioed the command center. Crooks briefly disappeared, returning moments later with a backpack. The sniper called for backup, but by the time officers responded, the gunman was already positioned on the roof. Now the FBI says it's investigating the assassination attempt as a potential act of domestic terrorism and believes Crooks acted alone. Today, President Biden asked Americans not to rush to judgment on the motive and to let the investigation play out. Monday, we learned former President Trump's running mate will be Ohio lawmaker J.D. Vance. He will give his acceptance speech on Wednesday, while President Trump will accept the nomination on Thursday.